poem that is a very important poem, not only because of its literary qualities, but it is an issue which is very relatable to our present scenario. Not COVID, but there is one more thing going on in the world. What is that? Two things we have got in this year. India is indulged with two things. One is the COVID-19. Another term that India is indulged with, that also starts with the letter C. So what can it be? We were boycotting some things. Yes, you're right. We are talking about China. So India-China relations or Indo-China relations are the talk of the town. Why so? Because we are in a situation of a war-like situation with China. Earlier we used to be in such situation with Pakistan, but now we are in a war situation with China also. Why the situation is there? Because of land dispute. Dispute, you all know, matbhed, when we are not sure about, we have differences. So India has land dispute with China. Because of that, India and China are on the verge of a war. So our today's poem is also talking about the same issue. Our poem talks about the same issue, that is not land dispute, but what happens during land disputes. We don't have the clear, our mindset is not clear about the boundaries of two nations. So our the poem is about the boundaries that is there between two nations or multiple nations. So the poem name is No Men Are Foreign. What do you understand by the word foreign? People belonging to the other countries are called foreigners, and other countries than ours are native countries. The other countries are known as foreign countries. So no men are foreign means no one in this world is a foreigner. We all are same. We all belong to one world. So we don't take the name of the countries. We don't divide ourselves between countries, but we think of us as we belong to one world. World is one. World is one. Vasudev Kutumbakam. Okay, so world is one. The whole world is one. We are not in Chhabra University, but our world is one. So No Men Are Foreign is a poem written by James Kirkup. James Kirkup. And this is a very fantastic poem because it talks about an issue which hardly we talk. We all are very patriotic. We believe that our country is the best. We have the love for our country, love for our nation. But that doesn't mean we have to hate every other country or every other countryman, every other foreigner. So this poem talks about such feeling that boundaries are not required. All the whole world is one. The whole world is one. My presentation of a globe, don't laugh about it. So no men are foreign, we all are equal. So we will see that how the poet narrates his poem, how the poet has composed his poem, and the poem is very beautiful. We will see that how no men are foreign in this poem. So I am Aman from DPS Sadhwani Ramachowk. You are watching video classes. Stay connected and watch the entire video so that this beautiful poem is clear to you.
No men are foreign. We are starting our poem that is composed by James Kirkup. So this is a very beautiful poem, and I've explained you the background, the backdrop of this poem, but let me just again remind you about the theme. What this poem is, what is the theme of this poem. So let me just quickly tell you. This poem is basically about the term globalization. Have you ever heard the term globalization? And if you have heard it, what does it means to you? The term globalization means when we don't confine ourselves with one country, we don't confine ourselves with boundaries. We think that the whole world is ours. So, in this poem, no men are foreign. Here, the poet wants to express that there is no such thing as a boundary. The LOC you have heard, line of control, line of actual control in these times. The line of actual control is all over the news. We are in a confrontation with China, and our main issue is the line of actual control. The Doklam issue, the Pangong So issue, everything is just for a land, a piece of land. China calls it there. India tells the world that it belongs to India. So, this is the major dispute there. So, the poet is also telling us that the men are one. We all are one. Here, men doesn't means only the males, but men means the general human beings. We all are one and we are connected. We are not different from each other, from one another, and we all are one. So, let's start. Have you ever thought of some people as strange or other countries as foreign? We have many ways of thinking of other people as different from us, as them. They may belong to a different country or speak a different language. In this poem, however, the poet reminds us of the many ways in which we are the same, in which we all are the same. So, this poem explains that we all are divided with the borders, but we all are united because when we will see that before the countries were marked, before the borders were drawn, the lines of borders were drawn, we were all one, but men drew the lines, they made the borders. God has made one world. We have divided it in countries or state or district or towns. So poet wants to express that we all at last are one. So this is the genuine feeling that poet has. Okay, so let's now start our poem, and we should not think of other people. We should not differentiate other people from us as them. We must say that we are one. We must call us us and not them them. We all are us. No one is a them here. We all are together. So let's see the poem. Okay, we are starting the first stanza. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. The poet is asking its readers to remember something, to remember something that we should keep in our mind, that the people of another country whom we think to be our enemies, like for example, we think Pakistanis are our enemies. Yes, there are disputes, yes, there are differences, but we must feel that we all are equal. If we would think that they are also our people and we all will think of each other as one, then these issues will itself not be there. So we must not think others to be our enemies. God has given all of us the same appearance, although we will be different by our looks, but our physical structure is same. God has given us eyes, all have the same eyes, same nose, same teeth, everything is similar. He has given us the strength which we can win through love. The poet says, in every country, in every land, there is one common thing, that is life. Okay. The poem begins with this line, that remember, no men are foreign. Okay, so we all are equal. We all, no one is different here. When when we first came to earth, when we first came to the earth, we were all walking here and there. We were all having no boundaries to go. The poet draws another similarity in the poem, that we all enjoy the same kind of food. We all have the same body. Our uniforms are different. Okay, our uniforms are different. Uniforms here means maybe someone is tall, someone is short, someone is thin, someone is fat, someone is white, someone is black, someone is dusky, someone is whitish. So there are physical differences, but inside that physical structure, we all are like each other. The land that our brothers walk upon is earth like this. Our brothers means the foreigners who are living in other country, they also walk on the same land, same soil like us. So we must all have the same feeling of brotherhood. Now, coming to the second stanza, the poet continues his feelings. They, too aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. This is a very interesting stanza. The poet tells us that here, first of all, they refers to those people who belong to other countries. So the poet says that we call them foreigners and we discriminate them and we fight with them, but the thing is, nature has given all the things to people just like us, to other foreigners also, which we the people which we call foreigners, they have also got the same thing from nature. Everyone gets sunlight, everyone gets the air, everyone gets the water in equal quantity. That means God doesn't discriminate. So why should we? If God is giving the water to everyone, air to everyone, food he gives to all, so why we should be discriminating? This is a question in front of us that poet is putting. We all do farming during the time of peace. When there is no war, we focus on, here farming doesn't only means the harvesting of crop. Farming means the all activities, the industrial work, everything that goes in day to day life. The poet tells us that when there is no war, when the country is in peace, everything goes fine. Okay, we live in a relaxed manner and eat things given to us by nature. We get apples. Okay, if we are getting apple, foreigners are also getting that. If we are getting water, they are also getting. So God is not discriminating. This thing is very important. Further, the poet adds that the way we starve during wars and winter time is the same for those belonging to other countries. Suppose, in case China attacks us, okay, China attacks us, we fight them back, and what will happen? Their economy will also slow down, our economy will also suffer. So, in both the countries, the people will suffer. So, the poet wants to tell at the time of peace, we all enjoy our lives in a relaxed way, but at the time of war, if the country will face the war, the people at that side will also suffer and this side will also suffer. Some are warmongers who ask for war every time. Yes, we feel very bad for the soldiers when they die, and it must not be there, but think of a situation if war would be there. I am not suggesting that war is not is bad, or we must not show our valor or courage, but it is just the opinion of the poet. He is saying that if a country goes on war, the people of both the countries who are indulged in war will suffer. Okay, even they don't get food at that time, the poet says. During war, the country's major portion of the economy will be spent in war. So, how we will get the food? So, he wants to say that foreigners who belong to another country and we both are same. The labor, the hands of the labor are same. Okay, the lines that are there in our hands, as we say, haathon ki lakeer, all are same in every person's hands, be it a foreigner or be it an Indian, or in case of James Kirkup, his countrymen. Okay, a labor is not different from our own. There the worker is doing work, here also the worker is working very hard to get his livelihood. So this thing poet wants to tell us. Now coming to the third stanza, the poet says, remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. So the poet says that the people that are there in other country, the foreigners, they also have eyes like us. Maybe their eyes would be blue or other color or whatever it is, the differentiation between the people belonging to other climatic condition, it will be there, but they have the eyes, we also have our eyes. So God has done nothing, God has not discriminated while giving people their physical structure. So why should we? Okay, God has given them eyes like us which open when we are awake and close when we are asleep. ऐसा तो नहीं होता ना कि जब हम when we are sleeping our eyes are wide open and the foreigners are shut. So it is not there. Okay. Uh, Similarly, he has given them strength which we can win through love. Okay, so the poet says that no matter how strong you are, how powerful you are, love is the thing that which can win anyone. Okay, if you are very powerful, if someone will talk to you very politely, you will listen to them. It is not that if someone will come to you with open arms and you will say, I am very strong and I will beat you. This is not the case. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. That means everywhere life is same. Okay, God has given us same life. Life here means all the things that are living, and if we can recognize them, And if we can understand their feelings, the living beings, and realize that they are like us, then there will be no fights or wars between us. Okay, this thing is very important, that all the people who are living beings, all the living things rather, all are having the same kind of life, all are having the life. And if we will understand their feelings, if we will understand that they are also living like us and we must not harm them, then there will be no war. Okay, now coming to the fourth stanza, the poet again says, "Let us remember whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other." Okay, this line, this para is very important. How? The poet reminds the reader that whenever we hate someone, we hate ourselves. If you have a very if you will be happy for everyone, if you will love everyone, love not in that sense, but if you will care for everyone, you will have a very good mood. But if you will have hatred for everyone, if you will indulge yourself in hatred and criticism and that things, then your mood will also be spoiled and you will become like that. The hate will consume you also. Okay. Okay, so whenever we betray someone, जब हम किसी को धोखा देते हैं, when we condemn, when we criticize someone, we are doing it for us also. We are betraying ourselves also. Someday someone will also betray us. When we will hate someone, there will be people who will hate us. And if we will have the emotions of hate so strong, then our mind will be consumed by that thoughts only. Okay. Remember, we who take arms against each other. Now, coming to the fifth stanza, it is the human earth that we defile. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Okay, so the Mother Earth has given us the same life. It is the human earth, it is the Mother Earth that we go against. So if we remove the borders from earth, it will be very good. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. When we make differentiations, when we build boundaries, we don't defy others, we don't go against others, we go against the nature. We harm the people and we harm the earth, the God's creations. Okay, so this thing is there. We must not do these things. He reminds that whenever we hate others, we hate ourselves also. And when we pick weapons against someone, we pollute the earth and make it impure with dead bodies all over. Okay, so this is the thing that poet wants to tell you, that when we make when we try to make others life difficult, then we make our lives difficult also. And when the countries will be involved in fighting and war, what will happen? The earth will also be harmed, pollution will be there. The At the time of war, if the nuclear weapons will be there, it will harm the earth. Okay, so when we will have no borders, we will have no fights. So the poet suggests that we must have the borderless countries. Okay, so the during the war, the earth becomes dirty. The dead bodies, it makes the environment very impure. Whenever war happens, it leads to a lot of bloodshed, fire, and death. So it makes the earth like hell. These dead bodies on earth, it makes earth impure. The fire of war which erupts, it the smoke that comes from it, it pollutes the earth. It is so dirty that it pollutes the purity of air. With all these things, the poet wants to give us a message that we should not indulge in war. Finally, he ends the poem by writing again that remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. One thing that you will see that the poet started his poem with the line remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign, and he ends the poem with the same line that remember, no men are foreign and no country is strange. Here the line means that no one is a foreigner. We all are equal. We all are one. The God has not differentiated while making us. So why should we? And no countries are strange. Every country is a part of the world and the world is one. The countries we have made, the borders we have drawn, but the God has made one big, large world where everyone should live happily and should not be indulged in war. So this poem is there. I think it is a very beautiful poem and it is a very simple poem. You just have to understand the lines, just read the lines and you will understand it. Now coming to some of the literary devices that were used in the poem. First of all, the rhyme scheme. The entire poem is written in free verse. So there is no rhyming scheme. The words that are ending in the lines, they maybe in a few instances they can rhyme, but it is not the idea of the poet. It is written in a free verse. Okay, there is no rhyme scheme in the poem. And the literary devices, other literary devices that are used, first of all is alliteration. What is alliteration? I have again and again told you in every poem, the repetition of a consonant sound in two or more closely placed words. Okay, the instances are, in first stanza there were words body, breathe, so the b sound, the b sound is repeated. In stanza 2, there were wars, winter, so W were sound was repeating. Now coming to the second device, metaphor. What is metaphor? Here, metaphor means when we make a similarity, when we what do we call it, without using like or as, when we connect two things, when we I'm forgetting the right term for it, but metaphor is that when जब हम किसी चीज़ को किसी दूसरी चीज़ से relate करते हैं without using like or as. The sun is liking, the sun is, your eyes are shining like sun, your eyes are shining like stars. So here we are comparing. Yes, comparing was the term. When you are comparing two things by using like or as, that is called simile. But when we when we compare the things, two things, without using like or as, it is called metaphor. So here in the first stanza, uniform refers to the military of different countries. Here and metaphors one uses also that when we compare the things, when two things are not there, only one thing is written, but it is used as a metaphor for something. Like uniform here refers to the military of different countries in the first stanza, and in the second stanza the war's time is compared to the winter season. During the winter season it is mentioned in the poem, so winter season is compared to the war time. Okay, so these two instances of metaphor are there. Now the third device is repetition. It is used in the entire poem. Remember, this word remember is repeated 5 times in this poem. And remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. This line is repeated in first stanza, the first line, and the last stanza, the fifth stanza's last line. So this is there. Now one more literary device is there, enjambment. What is enjambment? running lines of poetry from one line to the next without using any kind of punctuation, full stop or commas, everything like that. So instances of enjambment are there in the poem, that in first stanza, line 2, 3 and 4, there are no punctuation marks. In stanza 2, line 3 and 3rd, there is no punctuation. Stanza 3rd, line 1, 2 and 3, there is no punctuation mark. In stanza 4, line 1 and 2, there is no punctuation mark. So the device of enjambment is used. And in the fifth stanza also it is there. You can see for yourself that which line it is there. Now here is a short summary for you. You can write the summary on your own. Like this you can write: the poem "No Men Are Foreign" begins and ends with the same line. Remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. So the poet wants to emphasize on the fact that all the people living on this earth are the same, and that we have created distinctions by erecting borders and fences. So God has made the countries, not countries, God has made the world, and He has not drawn any border or any fences. He has not built. We, the people, have made these borders, and we have differentiated the countries. So the God has not made any different languages. The languages, yes, God has given us the ability to speak, but we have made the languages, so we have done the distinction. So when we are alive, when we come to life, we walk on the same earth. Okay, in America also the land is same. In India also we walk. We don't know that we are born in India or America. So this is there. He draws another comparison. Okay, in the poem he says that he draws another similarity. Rather, he says that we all enjoy good food during peace, and during wartime we starve. So this is a similarity. In Pakistan also during war people will suffer. In India also we all have similar hands which we use to do a lot of hard work. The labor's line he has used. Okay, all of us have eyes which open when we are awake and which shuts when we are sleeping. So it is not the case that when we are sleeping our eyes would be open and Americans' eyes would be shut. So we all are same. He reminds the reader that whenever we hate someone, we cheat and hate ourselves. Whenever we are against someone, when we do some bad to others, the same will happen to us. And if our heart will be filled with hatred, our mood will also be spoiled. Also, when we pick weapons against someone, we pollute the earth, like I have mentioned, dead bodies and all. So this is there. So here our poem is concluding, and I hope that you have understood the theme of the poem. In these stanzas I have explained to you. So what you have to do, you will write the word meanings that I will provide and the summary of the poem.
Okay, so here our poem concludes, and I hope that you have enjoyed the poem. It is a very simple and easy poem. You have to write the summary on your own, and the extract based questions that I will provide you, you have to do them on your own. So I hope that you have enjoyed the poem. I hope that you have understood the poem, and we will meet again in the next video. I am Aman from DPS Afghani Lama